Hello everyone and welcome to Friday. First and foremost, I'm going to let you know how I'm doing. Considerably better. I mean, really, if I'm honest, considerably better. Especially compared to yesterday. It's like the last 2 days were pretty bad, but today it was like big improvement. But since I am feeling pretty good today, not completely better because I haven't shaved yet, but I think I'll do that tomorrow. I wanted to finally bring you the games we got in Wisconsin, because we got a pretty good Wisconsin game haul, and I wanted to show you everything that we got. So first, I'm going to show you an overview. This is all the stuff we got. There's, several piles, lots of different games we acquired. Pretty good stuff, some rare stuff. Really good deals all around, though. And I'm really excited to bring it to you, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it to you now. So the way I'm going to do this is divided up by store. And I'm going to start by showing you all the stuff that we got from Gaming Generations. Gaming Generations is a place in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I've been there several times before, have always had really good luck at the store. One of the best deals I got there is I got a boxed copy of Zelda 2 for the NES with the original receipt from '88 for $12. Just really good stuff. I think I got a copy of Harvest Moon 64, cart only, for like $20 there in the past. So like really crazy good deals. And they actually give us a discount, I think a 10 or 15% discount on top of everything, because Mao was a student at Point. So she's an alumni, or if you're a current student, you get it as well. Anyway, the prices on the boxes that you see in this video are not going to be completely correct, just because there might be a deal or something that we're taking into effect. So the stuff you see on screen is going to be a more accurate price. Anyway, things that we got at Gaming Generations. Sonic Gems Collection. This is something that we had picked up before at Player's Choice, but whenever we get at Player's Choice, there was a skip in the disc, and we took it back to try and get them to buff it out, and they tried to buff it out and they just couldn't get it. So we ended up just returning it and getting store credit. So we ended up getting a different copy. So now we have Sonic Gems Collection. Resident Evil 4. Keep in mind that every single game you're going to see in this video, sans one, is are games that we don't have. So I didn't have Resident Evil 4 for GameCube, which is a classic, so we got that. Ariel and the Little Mermaid for the Genesis. I like picking up weird games that I don't see very often. I also really like Disney games for whatever reason. World of Illusion with Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Once again, weird Disney game. Don't know what made me pick this up. Time Slip for Super Nintendo. I think I'm somehow strangely drawn to games that have names on them, which is weird because I end up trying to get them off. But I don't know, something about someone taking the time to mark a game as their own, I don't know, I feel weirdly attached to that. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, or Exodus, sorry. Odyssey is one of the Oddworld games, I believe it's just a different game. Space Jam, once again, couldn't pass this up, wanted to grab it, so I did. Mega Man X5, not the rarest Mega Man game, but it is in the Mega Man X collection, didn't have it, wanted to get it. And all these are complete, by the way. I don't think, obviously the cart only one isn't, but all the other ones are. Duke Nukem Time to Kill. And then some random N64 games. Rat Attack, Iggy's Wrecking Balls, 1080 Snowboarding, another Duke Nukem game, 0 Hour. And then I also picked up the Crystal Chronicles Player's Guide, since I didn't already have that. So, did pretty well there, and then, they were taking off, 10 to 15%. So, the stuff you see on screen for this entire video are the prices that we paid after the discount. Does that make sense? That makes sense. So that was the first gaming store that we went to, pretty much. And I'm going to jump around a little bit here. I'm actually going to take you now to the last store that we went to, which was, I'm not even going to remember the name of it, GB Games in Green Bay. In this particular place, all I got two games. I picked up Deja Vu for $3, which I thought was a pretty fair deal. Deja Vu is also a really fascinating game. I played through all of Deja Vu 1 and 2 whenever they released it for Game Boy Color many years ago. Loved it. Glad to have a actual NES card. I also owned the manual for this. I picked it up at the flea market one time, I think for free. I think someone was just giving away. So now I have the cart to go with it. And then Iron Tank for $4. I don't know if Iron Tank's worth $4. It may be worth less. It's stickered to heck and back. It's not even a rare game. The reason I wanted this game when I saw it was because this is the first video game I actually ever owned. I had an NES way back in the day. I was very, very young when I first received an NES. I was 2. And the first game I ever remember owning and playing myself was Iron Tank. So when I saw it, you know, it triggered this crazy memory, and I was like, I have to have it. So $4, you know, I don't think it's even worth quite that much, but I'm kind of happy to own it, and I can't wait to play it. And we have that top loader now, so I can actually play it. Okay. Another store in the Green Bay area. This is a Mega Media Exchange. They're common throughout Wisconsin, I believe. There's one in Appleton too, although the one in Appleton sucks and never has anything. But the one in Green Bay actually had some pretty cool stuff. First up, Rival Schools, PlayStation title that I had never seen before in person. To be honest, I didn't really know a whole lot about it. This sticker price is right because Mega Media Exchange doesn't have any sort of discounts or anything. But still, pretty cool. Worth a little more than that, so I picked it up. Power Slave for the PlayStation. Picked this up just because I hadn't seen it before. Sometimes whenever I haven't seen games, you know, it's enticing. It's like, oh, you know, I wonder what this is. And I'll look it up, but, you know, whether the price is right or not, I don't know. If I haven't seen it, to me, it usually makes it rare because I go game hunting so often, so I decided to pick it up. Stretch Panic, a game for the PS2. I had heard a lot of cool stuff about it. It was $7, worth a little more than that. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go for it. I think it's one that Mal would enjoy playing because she really likes weird, quirky games. Really likes Tulip, so she'd probably enjoy it. And then this one caught my eye because look at the box. You know, it was sideways. So there's a lot of PlayStation 2 games out there, a lot. And I'm more familiar with more retro titles. I'm really familiar with the Super Nintendo library, N64 library. But when you get into PlayStation 2, I don't know a whole lot about them, so I had to look it up, but it was worth a little more than what they were asking, so I decided to pick it up, and also just because it looked really interesting. You know, there's very few games that do, you know, this side art like that, so I decided to go ahead and get that. So, Mana Chemia, I think is how you pronounce that. So that was the Mega Media Exchange. Now the last place is the place we actually highlighted on the vlog, and that was Game Trade in Green Bay. Super amazing store, super nice people in there. We were in there for probably an hour. It was just my little toy land, and they were having an amazing sale. Amazing freaking sale in there. It was buy two, get one free on everything in the store. And it was actually a little difficult because they had a copy of Earthbound in there, and they had Metal Warriors, and they had Mega Man X3. And for a while, I was really contemplating buying 2 like super expensive games and getting a third super expensive game for free, because that would have been like the opportune time to do it. Because, I mean, the realistic thing is you just don't find copies of X3 out in the wild. You don't find, you know, Metal Warriors or Earthbound at yard sales. It just doesn't happen. If it does, sweet. But, you know, you're more than likely going to have to buy that on eBay, buy that in a game shop, etc. So it would have been a good deal, but I had already had, you know, all this stuff, you know, on the counter, and I was like, I can't blow an additional $300 on getting 3 games, so I decided not to do it. But I almost did it. So there's 3 games in every stack, and basically I got 2, and then I would get the third one free. And actually, he also said that he ended up throwing in one of the games for free anyway. I think he said he gave me Sonic 3D Blast for free. Although he had said that I had an extra game, and there's actually not an extra game. So maybe he miscounted, but whatever. Apparently I got one of the games for free. So even though these were like 2 get one free, I'm going to do the math on screen differently, so it gives you a better idea of the actual cost. In other words, if I had 3 $10 games and my price on those was, you know, $20 for all 3 games, instead of listing 10, 10, and 0, I'm going to split that up differently, so it's like 7, 7, 7. You guys understand. All right, so time to show you what I got. First things first, Power Rangers, the movie game. To be honest, this wasn't something I had planned on picking up. It was just one of those situations that I was trying to make these piles, and I ended up getting some different games. I got Battletoads, Double Dragon for Super Nintendo, which is a really fantastic game. And I also picked up another copy of Fun and Games, just for the fact that I don't even know if you guys know this, but Fun and Games shot up in value over the summer. Actually, we picked up a copy from Player's Choice for about, I don't know, 15 bucks. And then like 2 weeks later, I think someone had wrote an article or done a YouTube video or something about the fact that there were only like 2,000 copies of the Super Nintendo version of Fun and Games made. The price shot up to over 100 bucks. So the game is coming down a little bit. It's currently worth about $90. And since it happened so recently, a lot of game stores don't know that. So we picked up this copy for 25, or I guess less than 25 after you factor in the difference. And we can take it over to Player's Choice, and they should buy it for a little bit more than that. I'm not going to try and rip them off or anything, but if I can get a little bit more, I think they can still sell it for a little more, because apparently the game is super rare. There was a Sega Genesis version as well, and they made tons of those copies, but the Super Nintendo version is actually pretty rare. I don't think it's going to hold at $90 price point. I think it'll probably level out, but I still think it's going to be worth more than it was, a year ago when it was only 15 bucks. Anyway. So I got those three. For $15 stuff, I got Super Valis 4, Tetris and Dr. Mario, and Fun with Leathers, because I have, what is it? Preschool Fun. I have Preschool Fun, and that one's a riot, so I wanted to kind of round out the set. Those were all made by, what's it called? The Software Toolworks. They went on to make something else, but I don't remember what. Okay, another $15 pile. We have Fahrenheit, which is a Sega CD32X game. There are only 4 CD32X games. Slam City with Scottie Pippen is one of them. This is another. Then there are, I believe, 2 more. One of them is Night Trap, which is a fairly high dollar game. Goes for about 60 bucks. And then I'm not going to remember what the other one is. But it's not very expensive. Anyway, Sonic 3D Blast for Genesis. I really hate this, just for the fact that it's in a cardboard box, and I freaking hate the cardboard boxes. I will probably get a cheap Genesis game at some point and print out my own cover and put it in there and like put this box away, just because I hate the boxes, but we didn't have the game, so we picked it up. We also never had a copy of Sonic Shuffle, and for whatever reason, Mal loves this game. It's nostalgic for her because she used to play it with her friend Nicole. Another boxed Genesis title, Sonic & Knuckles. We did not have Sonic & Knuckles, believe it or not. Now we have that. And then Aerobiz. As CEO, you call the shots. It's just a harder to find Genesis title, and it was boxed, so we picked it up. And Sonic 3D Blast for the Saturn. Pretty cool. So we actually ended up getting 2 Sonic 3D Blasts, one for Genesis, one for Saturn. Be interesting to compare those, see how different they are. Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Quest. Beauty and the Beast, Roar of the Beast. Once again, don't know what my weird obsession is with Disney games, but you got them. A lot of times they're really freaking hard. And then Sonic 3. We didn't have Sonic 3. So we got a ton of Sonic games. Sonic 3D Blast, 2 of them for 2 different consoles. Sonic 3 and then Sonic & Knuckles. But I'm okay with all that. And then the expensive pile. We got D2, pretty much got this completely on Steve's recommendation. You may recall in the vlog he said that one of the bosses, or more of the bosses, are vaginas, which is interesting, but it's also apparently a pretty rare game, and actually it's kind of hard. It's going to be completely dependent on where you shop, but finding Dreamcast games seems to be pretty difficult. It's a lot easier to find other stuff, at least from the places I've been to. And then fairly rare game, actually, Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. This is kind of like a Sonic game, but it's with Knuckles, and you almost never see this. Finding 32X games can be hard in and of itself. Chaotix is a game that I've only ever seen a handful of times, so they had a box copy for more, but I was like, I don't want to deal with yet another stupid cardboard box. I don't want the manual that badly, so I went with just the cart. And then finally, Mega Man 6. Just because I didn't have it. So, all in all, nice little stash. Got a lot of stuff. To be fair, we spent a good bit of money, and I actually haven't done the calculations yet, but I'm pretty sure we came out on top. I'm pretty sure that we did some good deals, and that one place in Green Bay, Game Trade, wonderful store. If you're ever in Green Bay, you should go in and check it out. Their prices were reasonable even without the sale going on, but with the sale, it's like, I absolutely need to pick up some stuff here. So that is the games we got in Wisconsin. Sorry it took so long to bring this to you. I have been feeling very under the weather. Still am a little bit. I actually had to cut a few times to cough and to get a drink of water, but getting better. That's going to be it for today. But one last thing, because I had mentioned this the other day. I had talked about one of my New Year's resolutions being wanting to watch more films, and I've been doing that. We've been watching films, and I've actually been writing reviews for them, which is pretty cool. The other New Year's resolution, attempting this as a New Year's resolution, we would like to collect all of the N64 games this year. We would like to complete our N64 collection. Well, not looking at some of the crazy stuff like the not-for-resale games. There's some really, really hard, valuable games that you could get, like the Majora's Mask Gray Card and stuff like that. We're not looking at all that, but the regular games. We have most of the high-dollar N64 games. We have Worms Armageddon, we have Beast Wars, we have Conker's Bad Fur Day. In fact, the only one that we're really missing that's worth a good bit of money is Sculptor's Cut, Clay Fighter. Once we get that, we have a pretty good amount of games to get, but they're not super expensive titles, they're very, very cheap. So, I want to tell you guys this just for the fact that if you are interested in sending us games, as many of you do, some people send letters, some people send fan art, some people send recipes, but some of you send games. For those people that do send games, and maybe looking at, a game or two that you're trying to decide to send us an N64 game. And, it's one of those things that I never want to feel like I'm asking for stuff, and I don't want to ask for stuff. But we have had messages in the past where people have, said, I'm interested in sending a game, and would you like this or this or this or whatever. So for the person that has an N64 game and a Super Nintendo game and a PlayStation game laid out on the counter, and they're trying to decide what to send, N64. Just for the fact that we are trying to hopefully legitimately complete the N64 collection this year if we can, just because it doesn't seem like it's going to be all that difficult to do. So we would like your help. Now, as always, before you send in any game, we do recommend that you check out the list of games that we have. If you go down below, there will be a link to see our video game collection. You can see that if you go to the website, there will be a link there. Make sure you check that out, because that will let you know if we have it before you send it. Just because we try to avoid duplicates, we only want one copy of games, except for Earthbound. We want all the copies of Earthbound. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Super long vlog, and I apologize for that, but you finally got to see everything we got, and I got to talk a little bit about it. As we go into 2014, like I said, if you are thinking about sending a game, and you are considering an N64 game with other things, send the N64 game above anything else, just because we are going to attempt to complete that collection this year, and most of the games that we're missing are very low-dollar titles. As far as Sculptor's Cut, I'm going to have Player's Choice keep an eye out for it in case it comes into the store. I definitely want it. And then we might be... I never buy games on eBay. I would prefer to do business with a local store. But we might have to actually do eBay to get that game. And the price really shot up over the last 2 years because someone bought all of them themselves. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we? I don't know what it is with these luggage pieces, where like the luggage itself, the stitching, the material is all really nice, and then the wheels are made of garbage. But that happened to our carry-on in Seattle as well, same brand.